One thing I appreciate about our next speaker is her enthusiasm and hot takes she has on the artwork we look at in art history. Amanda, I'm so excited to welcome your cheery and sweet self to the stage. Everyone please give Amanda a big red welcome.
Hi. When the sudden and overwhelming urge of doing a senior speech struck me, I happened to be in the middle of finishing Kurt Vonnegut's novel, Slaughterhouse-Five. There, I was introduced to the Trifalmadorians, who live on a planet 446 quadrillion, 120 trillion miles away from Earth. Interestingly, one major difference between the Trifalmadorians and human is that they experience time differently. They can see all time at the same time, that, as Vonnegut describes, all moments, past, present, and future, always have existed and always will exist. So, during that one specific moment, out of nowhere, pulled out of thin air when the sudden and overwhelming urge of doing a senior speech struck me, I wanted to talk about moments. As you could probably tell, I signed up for a senior speech at the last minute. And ironically, I actually wrote my senior speech before I signed up. I never really wanted to do a senior speech until that moment where the idea struck me. I wondered if this sudden urge is an enlightenment or simply just a pull of fate. I think a Trifalmadorian would say the latter, because they already see the result. Certain moments like this are doomed to happen. Trying to think like a Trifalmadorian pulled me into the fear of meaningless. And as a teenager, I often questioned the meaning of my life. I learned it the hard way when Mr. Young told me that if I sleep at the exact same spot I woke up in, no matter what I did, my net worth of the day would still be zero. That harsh truth not only harmed me emotionally, but also physically. And you see, physics is very much universal. I struggle with this concept outside of classroom too. To me, there often seems to be no real cause and effect between my effort poured into something and the result I receive from it. I talked to Miss Haney once about it and eventually ended up in a pool of tears. I didn't understand the whole point of trying so hard when the result don't seem to be any different. This question reoccurred as I was writing this speech. What's the purpose of me spending time writing a senior speech when it is too late to sign up for one after all? The Trifalmadorians would know the answer, and they would simply shrug and say, so it goes. Unfortunately, I am not a Trifalmadorian. Neither can I time travel, nor be everything, everywhere, all at once. Not being able to see the significance of an action creates uncertainty, and uncertainty brings fear. Of course, I am not qualified to give a philosophical lecture on life. I can only speak of one simple message I've learned, and that is my limited perception of time is what makes all moments I experience so precious. On the day I was crying in Miss Haney's office, she gave me an answer to my struggle. She said, years after, when people look back at all the moments in life, most will not regret for the things they've done, but rather the things they didn't. You've done it, you're still passionately doing it, and I know you will continue to do it in the future, and that itself is significant enough. So the urge of doing a senior speech came back to me. And I thought, even if the answer's no, I at least have to take a step and ask about it to make sure, right? So I went to Rev the next day and I said, I really want to do a senior speech. That moment, and this ongoing moment right now, alongside with many other precious moments in my life, shaped me. On the journey of exploring, I know the best I can do is to cherish all moments and have faith that it will resonate sometime in the future. As my favorite character, Jack Burton, says, we get very few of the true images in our head of the kind I am talking about. The kind which becomes more and more vivid, for as the passage of years did not obscure the reality, but year by year drew off another veil to expose a meaning which we had only dimly surmised at first. And I dare to believe this is one of those moments. Now, if you know me well enough, you would know that I would not leave this podium without ending my speech with a quote from one of my favorite books, All the King's Men. And I dedicate this quote to all, and myself, as my year as a high schooler slowly come to an end. Thus my speech, and the book, ends with, soon now we shall go out of the house and go into the convulsion of the world, out of history into history, and the awful responsibility of time.